friends, thank you so much for being here today. I hope your day is going great. Today we are going to talk about a little different twist on the makeup starter kit concept. I thought it would be fun to do something called a restarter kit. So it might be something that I continue to do seasonally if you guys like this, or just maybe for certain needs. But I thought for summertime this would be a good idea because it might just get your mind thinking about some different things that you haven't picked up in a while in your collection. It's not literally saying, hey, you must go out and buy every piece of what I'm talking about today, but it might remind you of some things in your collection that could give you a similar look, right? Also might give you some specific ideas if you're like, I want to tap into a new lip color or a new blush shade or a new lightweight coverage product. I'm going to make some recommendations here and put them all on for you. This video is not going to be purely drugstore products, but it's going to be a lot of drugstore, and especially with my recommendations here at the start for lightweight coverage, I feel like I got a few good drugstore options to tell you about. First, I've already moisturized and I've already got a separate sunscreen on, so there is more than just the sunscreen coming from a coverage product on my face. But I will point this out, when I'm really seriously getting out and having pool time, having a lot of outdoor time, I just take all my makeup off and slap on that Aveeno SPF 50 baby sunscreen, and it's amazing. Like, it's the best defense. It's gentle, it has no negative effect on my skin, like in terms of breakouts. The kids do not burn with that on, I do not burn with that on. So that's my serious outdoor wear, okay? But if we're just wanting a makeup look, I wanted to make a few recommendations. The first one, the most foundation-like, but definitely a lighter take compared to your more full coverage options. I love the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I think it's really like a drugstore take on the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder foundation, which is beautiful, but this is beautiful too. And I have it in the shade here, Creamy Natural. This might be just a hair light for me right now, but you know, I can make it work. But that's the most foundation-y, and then more like tinted moisturizer style. I really like this Neutrogena Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. This might be a good thing to think about if you're on the normal to dry side. And then I think just about any skin type can get away with this Maybelline Dream BB. I know this has been around a while. I remember talking about this years back, but I've repurchased it more recently and I kind of really like it, maybe better than I remember. I have it in the light medium sheer tint shade, has an SPF 30. They say it's an 8-in-1 skin perfector. It does have titanium dioxide sunscreen in it, but it claims to blur imperfections, enhance, brighten, adjust to skin tone, smooth, hydrate, protect with the SPF, and then 0% oils or other heavy ingredients. It does say to shake well. This is the one I'm going to use today because I think it's kind of the most like could work for any skin type, any person. And for some, if you're more oily, you might find BB creams are a really good one and done step because it gives you the moisture and it gives you that little bit of coverage. But for me, I like to have a little extra moisture underneath. So we're just gonna squeeze some out here, going for that large pearl-sized amount, dab it around. And then I like to use my nice thick RT Go brush and just blend it all in. The coverage is light, but that's what we're going for with this. We're making a restarter kit for summer, so we're wanting to experience a lighter take on foundation in this video. And yeah, I'm working on my big foundations that don't look like foundation type video, but there's like a chart involved. It's intense, you guys. It's been in the works for like weeks. But this all over the skin, it's not quite as dewy as the Neutrogena, but I'm getting some nice light coverage out of it. And the coverage story does not end there because we are gonna bring in some concealer. I think a really low fuss way to put on concealer is with a stick, and I'm kind of keeping that in mind with my theme here too. I've got some color products that are very summer oriented. We're going light and easy natural with the coverage, but still good wear time and low maintenance, not a lot of need for touch-ups. And I think a stick concealer is just great to use. This is my Neutrogena Hydro Boost. It's kind of been my drugstore go-to stick concealer, and I wear it in the shade Light. And here's why I love stick concealers. Boom. Done. Put it exactly where you want the coverage. There's really no guesswork in amount of application. You just literally draw it over one time, one pass over the area that needs help. So that's what I would do. I would put it on the under eye. I would put it elsewhere where I might want to brighten up a little bit, counteract redness if this is good in those zones as well. But the nice thing about this Neutrogena stick concealer is that there's enough moisture in it to be really good in all these different zones. You know, it doesn't overpower areas where you might get oily like your nose, but it also doesn't over dry in the under eye area where you might have fine lines. I hope they never get rid of that product, but drugstore, I tell you, drugstore gets on my nerves for how fast they cycle things through, and very few things seem to get to stay for the long haul. But I'm just dabbing over it. I'm not doing a real like psh, 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 lots of swipes. I'm doing more of a pressing in to try to maintain that coverage everywhere. So see, that skin's still got a little bit of a glow, but we've enhanced our coverage on top of this and everything's working nicely together. Now I would take a little bit of powder over areas where I know I need powder. Some people need more, some people need less to none, but I'm taking my Rimmel Stay Matte. And this, how many times do I need to sing the praises of Rimmel Stay Matte powder? I like it because you don't pull too much off the pan when you dip in. So it gives you kind of just the right amount to mattify, but not cake up, not look real powdery on the surface of the skin. I'm setting that concealer and I'm setting my T-zone because I know that's going to be the area that starts to break down first. So think of powder as like your little defense against that. But there we go. I've got that powder on and I feel good about that. I think it's great to usher in a bronzer this time of year. Just start getting the skin a little more warmed up. And I think Milani has a great line of bronzers. They're the Silky Matte bronzers. And this is the shade called Suntan. I know in the past I have talked about a deeper shade called Sun Drenched. And both, I feel like I can use both of them really. Sun Drenched has a nice bit of like reddish undertone there. This is a more natural shade, but it's plenty pigmented. And I feel like I can use this for a light contour. I could use it for just light bronzer all over. I also have been loving my Laura Geller Bronze and Brighten, but I wanted to offer you more of a drugstore option right now. I've been kind of examining some bronzers as possible dupes for something else, and Milani I think has a really great formula here from the drugstore. So I get that on the forehead. Can I still see some freckles through on my skin? Yes, I can. You know, that was not a product that's gonna cover up a lot, but it helps even out. Skin's still looking like skin. Okay, we got our little bit of bronzer. Now, for a really fun blush option, I love this shade. It's so rosy, it's so pretty, and it's gonna coordinate beautifully with the lip. This is the Revlon Photo Ready Cheek Flushing Tint. Has anybody seen these out? It's in the shade called Posy, and I think it's just so life-giving to the cheeks. It's beautiful. It has a little doe foot applicator, and it's kind of that serum blush consistency. Reminds me a lot of the M Cosmetics. I feel like it's long wearing, it's nicely pigmented, but it doesn't lock in and set like a stain might on your cheeks. So you got a little time with it, but you don't need to use a lot. I would grab any synthetic brush. This happens to be my Sigma, one that I would often use for foundation, but it's clean right now, and I can use it for the blush. And just dab over it. There's no shimmer in this, it's just kind of straight color. But the naturally flushed look to the skin, I'm gonna add just a little bit more. It totally reminds me of what my skin looks like when it gets some sun, you know? I don't feel like it breaks down what was underneath. Some blushes like this in this format can be a little too runny. And as you blend them out, you can practically see them eating away at your coverage underneath, and I don't feel like this does that, so like it. For highlighter, I wanna give a couple of options here because some people really fight the glow this time of year. You know, if you're an oily skin type, you're not wanting to put all this crazy glow on your skin because you know you're gonna be fighting against that very look as your day rolls on and you get more oil production on your skin. So one highlight, this is an oldie but a goodie here, my friends. Laura Geller Baked French Vanilla. So nice. This is really, really natural looking. This is the one I'm gonna go ahead and use today because I haven't used it on camera in a long time and I want you to see how pretty the effect is. It's brightening, but any sort of glow is just like, it's not metallic at all. And you kind of just go over the top of your cheek and you get a brightened look, and in daylight you'll get the most gentle of sheens, but you won't have to worry about it being too intense or attract attention to any of your problem areas, fine lines, pores, anything like that. It's really, really nice and natural. Like, it's pigmented, okay? You see that there. You start to sheer it out, and you see, okay, it's got the slightest sheen, but in an odd way, a little bit of coverage too. If you've been with my channel for the long haul, you've heard a lot about this product, but I'm kind of bringing that back right now. If you're more dry and you want a highlight that gives you a little bit more of a dewy look, the RMS Living Luminizer, so beautiful. Talked about this much more recently, and this is that sneaky glow where yes, you see sheen from this on the skin, but it makes you look just kind of dewy as opposed to seeing that metallic streak of highlighter. It just makes you look dewy, healthy, more alive. I think that's a fantastic option if you're trying to bring some more radiance to your skin. When it comes to setting spray, a couple of options here. One is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I do think this can improve staying power, not make you too dewy when you put it on, but if you're trying to get more dewy, the Radiant Setting Spray from Neutrogena I think is a nice pick. I think I'll go ahead and use the e.l.f. today. I've noticed getting outside more, we're going through some humidity right now where I live, and that can kind of make me a little more shiny in my T-zone, but this will help. Just like 4 spritzes, generally think like forehead, chin, cheek, and cheek. Next, I'm gonna try a little easy, low maintenance brow here with my new M Cosmetics Brow Cream. This is in Brunette, and I kind of talked about recently how this can seem like sort of a one and done step. It works really nicely. It's kind of right up there with my Almay Brow Styler, only somehow I think this is a little bit more fill-in friendly. Like if you're really trying to cover some bare areas, this covers. Like it really has a lot of nice color, but look what I did there. That brow's done. That's real time, like that brow is done, and I can feel the hold. It just has a way of sort of grabbing the hairs, not overloading, but yet it is putting some color down. Difference for me between this and the Almay Brow Styler, the hold is really, really good from both, but if you need more fill-in out of this step, the M Cosmetics is a little more, it's just a little better about that. The Almay is kind of a nice finishing touch. If you're like, okay, I want the bit of tint, I really want the nice hold, but I'm still wanting to use a pencil first. The Almay is kind of a nice partner product. This, as you can see, can kind of do it all on its own. I had a little more to fill in there on the end of this brow, so it took me a bit more time, but overall that's a really quick fill in and I can feel the hold. Now for the eyes, we're going to do a quick eye with a couple of shadow sticks from Mally Beauty. These are the Autumn Shimmer and the Chocolate Diamond. With a name like Autumn coming into my summer video, I guess we'll still take it. It's just a pretty rose gold shade and a nice kind of chocolatey brown. And I'm just gonna show you how to use a couple of shadow sticks to get a really quick look. These were a couple of the ones that were part of Mally's TSV recently. She had shadow sticks and mascara on sale, and she was doing a lot of little tutorials and demos on her social media, and it really made me want to pull these out. I already had these 2 in my collection. Made me want to pull them out and kind of develop a good cream shadow go-to look for myself. And where those new Too Faced liquid shadows that I used in a recent video are kind of high maintenance, a little tricky to use, amazing staying power, but just, you know, they're not quite goof-proof and foolproof. These are pretty much goof and foolproof. What's the difference between goof-proof and foolproof? I don't know, but anyways, I'm gonna take the Autumn Shimmer, so this is the pretty rose gold shade, and kind of just let that come all over my lid. So I get that pretty glow, and then I just give it a gentle pat and done. That gentle pat is sort of to pick up any excess, but really, like these, you just swipe them over the area. They do lock in, it seems, almost regardless of how much product you get on there. They will eventually lock in and not move. For a little contrast, I take my Chocolate Diamond shade. This also has some shimmer, but it has more depth. And then I'm gonna wanna have on hand my Instapop blending brushes here. These are from Real Techniques, and they are synthetic brushes in just the perfect shape to help blend out a cream shadow. I think I'm gonna take my smaller of the 2. I'm gonna get some Chocolate Diamond there on the outer part of my lid and even up into my crease, getting up above where you can see that shadow peeking out, and I'm running my brush over it, letting it blend. Look how easy it blends, you know, you just don't want to wait on it. I wouldn't draw it on both eyes and then wait to blend. I would do one eye at a time, and look at that pretty, just sheared out look, and that is gonna last all day. And here's what I also love. If you want smoky liner, Just take that. It's like a thicker, rounded off stick. Think Laura Mercier caviar sticks. It's a real classic kind of shadow stick shape. But that beautiful eye look, I mean, I have worn these a lot lately and they just, it stays. Nothing will move from that. And even being shimmer, you might think, well, is that gonna settle into lines more? It really doesn't, like it just stays. Drawing it on the outside and then, as I kind of tried to describe, taking it up. Giving yourself that lift. Think about the placement where you'd put powder shadow. And then take your brush. Product is not yet set and it's really easy to get a softened look on the outside. Now one could say maybe you could just put the stick on and kind of blend it a little bit with your finger. I think you could. I think the brushes just make it that much easier for me. Oops, I didn't twist it up. And then under the eye with a little sweep of smudgy liner. I mean, think about how short this would be if I wasn't explaining every step. It's the easy, low maintenance, like summer smudgy eye. I love that. One last thing to say on eyes, a little bit of a brightening step is good. This is my ABH, oops, reaching for the wrong end of it, the matte end. It's my stick in the matte Camille and Sand Shimmer. So one end is shimmer, one end is matte. And I really like the matte in my lower lash line. And then the shimmer can be pretty if you just want more of a pop around here. It's even brighter than that rose gold shade that we put on the lid. This is kind of an optional step, but it is kind of brightening. For my mascara today, you know how I love using lash primers right now, but keep in mind, summer look, trying to keep it low maintenance and easy and quicker. So I'm just gonna pop in one mascara. I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Lash Paradise. And this is one that's often compared to Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It really has the same kind of packaging look, same kind of brush design with the hourglass. But the Too Faced one, it's a nice mascara. Like I like what it will do for the lashes, but it has more of a tendency of smudging on me than this. And you may have also noticed when we did our Mally shadow sticks, there was no eye primer underneath, and that was on purpose. You don't have to prime under those. They will still last all day. Okay, I've got like 2 coats of that mascara on the top, and I'm just gonna leave the lower lash line bare so I don't have to pull in another product, and also I don't have to have any concern over smudging. Now for lips. This is a really fun summertime lip color, and I think it coordinates beautifully with our cheek. This is from L'Oreal, and you know how I love those Color Shine lipsticks? Well, they do have a line of plumping ones. The difference in the look is like the plumping ones have a different sort of interior color here, and this is the shade called Watermelon Plump, and I did gouge it with my teeth on the top end, but it's a really pretty fun, like sheer red. It makes me think of Revlon Super Lustrous Rich Girl Red, but that's one of those hard to find shades now. But the shine that comes off of this is just outrageous. And there's a little more thickness in the texture of the Color Shines than the new Revlon Glass Shines. Like these just feel a little more luxurious on the lips. And these plumping ones, there's a little bit of a tingle. It's like a cooling sensation. I kind of like that. I know not everyone might, but how great is that color? Is that not like, you know, take me on a picnic, take me to a carnival? I love that effortless looking brightness. And it does make me want to add just a little blush now that I see how the whole look's coming together. Just a little more pop here. You gotta be careful. It's like there's a fine line with this product. Sometimes I pop it on and I'm like, oh, I could build for days. And then other times it feels like I applied too much. But just dab over it with a synthetic brush. Even top the nose. And it really looks like realistic sun-kissed. Okay, clips out. And that is my easy breezy, low maintenance summer makeup restarter kit. So maybe just a few product ideas to get you revamping your makeup bag for the season. We've got a long wearing eye that will not move. We've got the fun lip and cheek. I gave a few options for lighter coverage face products, but I find I've been getting along quite well with the Dream Fresh BB. You want a little more coverage, but still keep it light. Think about the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Our stick concealer could not have been easier to just swipe on. We've got our Rimmel Stay Matte Powder to just help us in those problem areas where we might get more shiny. Your choice of highlighters. Not everybody has to go with the blinding highlight. If you know your skin is just gonna get oily and greasy, go with a softer, just more brightening type product in those areas, like the Laura Geller Baked French Vanilla. So friends, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Let me know if you would like to see these videos videos seasonally because I think that might be a fun way to go about it. But yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.